Good morning. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the world's best smart lock. Yes, I know that it's my opinion, but in my opinion, the Lockly Vision Elite is the best smart lock that money can buy. This right here is a video camera. It has multiple sensors. It's got a built-in doorbell. It has a fingerprint reader right here that unlocks the door, and it has a solar panel. Yes, it has a rechargeable lithium battery, and this solar panel charges that battery. And it has an old school key lock right there if all else fails, and a built-in digital display that changes automatically to fool your would-be intruder. But Michael, why would you put such an expensive lock on a shed? Well, if you guys didn't know, I've got a full-blown home theater inside of a shed. If you guys haven't seen that video, I'll link it below. In this video, I'm actually going to be reviewing 3 different Lockly smart locks, but let's start out with this Lockly Vision Elite. This is their flagship smart lock, and in my opinion, it is the most well thought out, most advanced smart lock that has really all the features of about 3 or 4 devices that you might purchase elsewhere in one device. They include plenty of documentation, easy setup guides, and even guest access instructions that you can hang right on your doorknob, because it does have a hack-proof keypad, which some people might not be very familiar with how to use. It is Wi-Fi enabled. They include this little hub here that you will need to plug in to your router so that you can access this through your phone anywhere in the world. So some of the Lockly locks are Bluetooth, and the higher end ones all support Wi-Fi, either built in or through an additional hub or dongle. This here is the actual keypad side of it, and I gotta say, this thing is hefty. There is a lot of tech built into the form factor of most smart lock devices, and I'll get into all the features here in just a second, but this thing is jam-packed and the quality is just stunning. A beautiful finish. Then this is the inside battery module, and this actually has rechargeable batteries that you charge via USB-C, and they did include 2 batteries. You can have multiple batteries. You can have one fully charged on standby. This is the inside mounting plate. This is what the battery unit is going to get screwed onto. And then also inside of the box, you're going to get all the nuts and bolts of what you need to be able to install the Vision Elite, including some old-fashioned regular keys. So if all else fails, you do have a set of keys to get in through the deadbolt. Then they do include the USB Type-C charging cables, and I found them to be actually pretty high quality cables. A lot of the cables that they throw in these devices are pretty cheap. This here is the strike plate, and it has a very unique feature that I have not seen in any other strike plate of a video smart lock. This is the actual deadbolt portion, and then they include some additional accessories, like they do include a 5-volt USB charger and a little sign if you want to put this on there next to the doorbell lock so people know where to push. And then here is that additional battery that they included in the Vision Elite, so you can have this one on standby and slot out the dead one and instantly put in the new one that's fully charged, so you've always got a battery on standby. Let's get the actual installation of this though, because there is a lot going on in this deadbolt smart lock. The first thing we want to do is change out the deadbolt. It is very important that you follow directions very careful when installing these, and notice that there's actually a wire going to the deadbolt. So this actually has a magnetic door sensor built right into the deadbolt that's going to line up to the strike plate on the other side of the deadbolt. And I find this to be a very, very creative way to include a door open or closed sensor without having to have anything additional on the door frame, which I previously had to do with previous smart locks, including my previous Locklys. Now you can just use a screwdriver just to test this. I like to just test it, make sure it's going in and out smoothly. And then this here is the outside unit. It has multiple cables coming out of it, so just be careful in routing those through underneath the deadbolt portion of this lock here. And as you pull it through, just be careful you don't pinch any of those cables. They have proper slots for everything. Then pull the cables through the mounting plate on the back side of the door. And I'll show you here just in a second how we attach the inside battery module. So there's just 2 screws that hold in the mounting plate. I didn't get a good camera angle on that, but you can see here that I'm feeding those cables through that. And then I just connected it to the battery back plate there and screwed those in with the included screws. It was very straightforward, and their instructions are phenomenal. They've got nice graphical representations. And then I was ready to put that battery in. As soon as I put the battery in, it instantly came to life, and it was time to connect it via the Smart app. Now, the Lockly Smart app is very full featured. You're simply going to scan the included QR code. Make sure you keep that in a safe place. And the first thing it's going to have you do is make sure you have the Vision Connect hub connected to your network router or connected into a switch box. Bottom line is it has to be connected to the same network that your phone is going to be connected via Wi-Fi. So here you can see I just have an Ethernet cable plugged into the Vision Connect hub box, and there's a power cable that you're also going to have to plug in. And they do recommend that you have this within 100 feet of the lock. Now, fortunately, inside my home theater here, I have a switch that connects to my network, so I was able to get this plugged in within 20 feet maximum of that lock. And then I just followed the additional on-screen instructions and got the lock fully connected up via the app to my Vision Elite smart lock. It went through a few different setups. It didn't take long to connect at all. This is actually in real time. It then had me create an admin code, and this code is going to be your primary code. You can set up multiple users, but this is going to be the admin code. And then they actually have you enter in the code via what is going to be shown on the keypad on the outside of the door. And this is kind of neat because you just push the number that's inside the circle that you need. And so even if somebody was watching you enter your code, there's no way they're going to guess which number you're actually pushing. In fact, I just entered my actual code to get into my home theater. And if you guys can guess it, put it down in the comments below. You can then name your lock. This is, of course, in the home theater, so you want to give it a unique name. And then we were successfully connected. Yes, of course, there was an upgrade. Not a big deal. It actually upgraded pretty quickly. It took about 6 minutes, and the Lockly Vision Elite was fully updated, and I had the latest firmware version. I love companies that are constantly pushing new features to their devices. Once I had it set up, it walked me through a few more things, showing me around the app, and this was the first time it was connecting directly to the camera that's built in. So the fact that this is a video doorbell lock is just phenomenal. I get notifications, not only text, but also video whenever someone is at this home theater door. I can also lock and unlock this remotely from the app, and I've got full control over this lock, and I found it to be pretty responsive. There was a little bit of a delay when it was connecting up to the video, but the actual lock and unlocking function of it was impressively fast, even over the network. To register new fingerprints to the lock could not have been easier. You simply go in to add a fingerprint, give it a name, whoever this is. You can also do multiple fingers, thumbs, just to have multiple options. And then you actually do it physically on the lock fingerprint reader. So once you've put the name in there, you just go over to the lock. It prompts you right there on the display. Once you're done, you can click successfully added, and boom, there you've got another fingerprint registered, and you can have multiple people with multiple digits on each person. And then there's a nice rich history of events that it shows you in there. Lots of settings that you can explore and mess around with. From the storage, it does record the footage from the camera directly to a micro SD card that is on the hub itself. And so it is all stored locally. If you want me to do a whole separate video on all the features and settings that are inside the app for your Lockly Vision Elite, let me know down in the comments. But here's a few of the ones that I really like that you can change and modify directly through the Lockly app. So you've got a lot of different time zones and welcome modes and notification settings, but I really like the fact that you can actually change the auto lock timer. So it has you can disable the auto lock, or you can set it for a certain period of time. So say the door has been closed for 2 minutes, it will automatically lock. And this is through that built-in strike plate sensor and deadbolt sensor that is in there that recognizes that when the door is closed. The built-in video camera supports up to full HD 1080p, but by default it is not turned on. So you need to go into the app to actually turn that on to get the full HD resolution. And then you can also manage all your storage. The included micro SD card is about 30 gigs worth of storage. You can also adjust and modify what type of notifications that you want to receive on your smartphone, and a bunch of other features that you can toggle on and off inside the app. If you missed any notifications, you can always go into the history inside of the app and see all of the activity, including the door lock, unlock, and all the video clips of those activities that happened as well, which I think is pretty cool. So these are just random clips that got triggered when I was taking the B-roll footage for this Vision Elite. Yes, I know I've got a very high-tech camera setup going on there. I do recommend that you keep that protective plastic on the outside display until you have it fully installed, including on the solar panel down there. You can also see the deadbolt that's included with this, and look at all those notifications coming in. So you can really fine tune your notifications. Now let's get to installing that Secure Pro on our front door. It's a nice gold finish, which is going to match the other hardware that we already have on our front door. I did remove that existing deadbolt, which again is important because the Secure Pro also includes the adjustable deadbolt, but it also has that little red dot, which is where the magnetic sensor is that needs to line up with the new strike plate when you're installing this on your door to make sure that the app can sense whether or not the door is open or closed to trigger notifications, and also to know whether or not it can auto lock the front door when it gets the confirmation that it is closed. The installation was very similar to the Vision Elite, so I'm kind of just powering through it here. You screw it on that outside plate, slip it through to the back plate, connect up all the wires, and then you are ready to screw on the inside battery plate. Now this one did use regular AA batteries, but it was a real nice secure feel connecting it to the front door. They do optionally include a top bolt and screw that you can go through the door again, but I didn't need it. It has double adhesive tape on the inside unit and the outside unit. And again, the setup inside the app was very straightforward. Using the QR code that's included with the package, you got to set up your first admin code. And with the Secure Pro, it actually includes the Secure Link, which you plug into an outlet very close within 10 feet of the front door lock, and that will connect up to your Wi-Fi router network. So let's get all the stickers off and test this out. The front touchpad, you can just touch to lock it. You can also disable that inside the app if you'd rather have a code be entered to lock it. But this thing looks really, really sharp on a front door, and again, very responsive when accessing it through the app to lock and unlock it. Very, very fast, and it looks really, really sharp. This is a very professional grade smart lock. Last but not least, let's talk about the Lockly Flex Touch. This one, very simplistic out of the box. This is going to be just a deadbolt on the outside with the fingerprint reader. So it's kind of simplifying the whole locking, unlocking system without having a digital keypad, but it did include everything you needed inside the box, including the hardware, the deadbolt itself. Again, Lockly quality is very impressive. These are extremely well made deadbolts and locks, and you do install the new deadbolt. Make sure the up sign is in the up position. This fit in nice and snug into this brand new door on the shed that I just built. In fact, I've got a new video coming very soon where I show you how I built a shed from the ground up, buying all the materials, making my own plans. So that's coming very soon. So be sure you subscribe to my channel for that new shed build video coming up very soon. Similar as the other locks, you just connect the outside deadbolt to the inside mounting plate, and then connect the battery and locking latch to that inside mounting plate using the included screws to connect it to the inside mounting plate. I installed the brand new strike plate on the door frame itself. Now this is a brand new door frame, so it's never had a strike plate on it before. So I did line it up, just making sure it was going to sit in there properly. On a brand new door, you might have to do a little adjusting. In fact, in my case, after trying a couple of times to get it to line up just with the existing hole of the strike plate, I did end up having to bust out the chisel and do a little old-fashioned woodworking there to open up the hole a little bit better, lined to the left there, and then reinstall that strike plate, and it worked perfectly. Just like the other two locks, very straightforward. When I was setting it up in the app, just simply scan that QR code. It walked me through the setup process. This one was very, very straightforward because it's just a deadbolt. There's no keypad or anything, but it made it really easy with that fingerprint reader. So I did have to register my fingerprints on this lock, but it was really cool. There's actually a way that you can share access codes from one Lockly lock to another lock. So So if you have multiple Lockly locks on your property like I do, you can actually set up the access codes in one lock and then share them to the other locks that you have set up in the app. You can also share them with other people. You can set timestamps on them, limited access, and even have QR codes on several of the Vision Elite and Secure Pro locks that allow people just to scan a QR code to be able to get permission from you to unlock the door. So it sends you a notification directly and you can unlock it. And it might feel a little bit of an overkill to have this nice of a lock on a shed, but I got to tell you, being able to just use your fingerprint to lock and unlock the door just is an amazing convenience. So there you have it, the Lockly Vision Elite, by far the most advanced. The Lockly Secure Pro, very beautiful, well-defined smart lock, and the Lockly Flex Touch. I highly recommend the Lockly smart locks. Links in the description below.